Hi Triplan. Today we're going to talk about what it means, what the costs are of always being the strong one in the room. Welcome back. My name is Admirable. I'm a psychologist and I'm a well-being coach. I work with high achieving professionals and executives, and I help them identify and fix their well-being gaps to improve the quality of their lives. If you'd like to work with me personally through my executive well-being partnership, then you can apply using the link provided in the description below. So now, what does it mean to always be the strong one in the room? And what's the cost of that to you as a person? At work, everyone expects you to come up with strategies to solve problems, to be the fixer. I mean, the Olivia Pope. If you watch Olivia Pope, you know what it is. You watch Scandal, right? Always the person everyone relies on. It might be strong. It might be great where you know that, you come in, problems get solved. People expect you to bring strategy, bring calm to chaos. But to what end and at what cost to you as a person? Because the truth is, there's a weight that this comes with that not everyone identifies, not everyone sees. Now, the first thing I want us to pay attention to as the cost of always being the strong one is your emotional invisibility. Yes, this is when you are always there for everyone, but then no one sees you. No one is able to show up for you. Not because they want to be mean to you in any capacity, not because they don't care. It's just because they assume that you're good and they just don't bother checking in. They don't bother, going the extra mile. The extra mile that you would go for them, people just don't see the need any longer because, you always have it all together. Because if you're someone who always has things handled, why do people have to go the extra mile to solve problems for you? But the truth is, that is in itself a cost. And what that means is your emotions become invisible. Your needs become invisible. Another cost that you need to pay attention to is hyper responsibility. What this means is when you carry the weight of everything that needs to get done. So for example, you are put into a team, and when you being in the team means that you have to step up for everyone. You have to pick up the slack of every single person that is there. Doesn't mean that you're not good at what they do, but it means that you have to be the one to always show up. You have to be the one to always rise to the occasion. You have to be the one to always make sense out of problems that are arising. Right? If you're in a team, you have to be the solver because in your mind, you almost feel like they're not going to get done if you don't handle it. But for how long can this really be done? For how long can we really carry on with this? Being hyper responsible for everyone, being hyper responsible for all the needs of people around you. It could be at home. It could be in the workplace. It could be you as a founder always having to make sure that your team members are getting things that they need to get done. You're not able to delegate properly. You're not able to relax in any way because you have to be responsible for much more than you should be. That's the hyper responsibility aspect where you are now taken as a cost of being a strong one. It's a good thing to be a strong one, but to what extent now is that affecting you as a person? It can be as simple as when you are assigned to a task, right? Just for the fun of it, just be a part of this team, oversee what's really going on here. But for some reason, you become the one carrying the team, making sure everything gets done. You become the person responsible for the execution of everything that really had nothing to do with you initially. The next cost, the other cost I want us to pay attention to is when you become disconnected from your own needs. So yes, your emotions can be visible to others, or you can be hyper responsible for other people. But the point where you now start to forget your own needs, of course, you have to show up for everyone. Everyone expects that you are going to be perfect. If you are less than perfect, then you don't feel as useful. You don't feel as good, to show up. That is a cost, okay? That is a huge cost. And what that means is that you build strength by suppressing. But the truth is that what we suppress hasn't gone. It's only being delayed. There's this funny, silent contract that a lot of high functioning leaders, a lot of high achievers sign. You build strength by suppressing your emotions, your needs, discounting what you care about, what matters to you, because you have to always be the perfect one. You have to always be the one who gets things done. There's this silent contract that high achievers, high performers sign. We don't know this, but if you pay attention, is you know what I'm talking about. I don't get to fall apart. And this mindset, this contract, what it does for us is it steals rest from us. And you know what rest does? It helps us to recalibrate. It helps us to heal. It helps us to be creative. But if we decide that I don't get to fall apart, I always have to be perfect, I always have to show up, we lose spontaneity, we lose relaxation, we move on high stress, and we are not able to ask for support when we need it. We are not able to allow people hold space for us when we need it. Because everyone can be weak, but we have to be the one to be strong. We have to be the one to make sure problems are solved. We have to be the one to make sure things are handled. Things don't fall apart. But the truth I'm going to give us is a bitter one, is that a lot of times hyperfunctioning is actually a trauma response, where you learn very early on in your life that you have to be useful, you have to be productive, you have to be competent for you to feel safe, for things to make sense, for you to feel useful. But what that means is you are moving on survival mode. That's not thriving. That's not thriving in any capacity. This is the Thrive Clan. Let's remember where we are. We thrive over here. So now we know what the costs are for being the high achiever at all times. But what do we need? We need reciprocal spaces. We need spaces where we can be still, where we can have people show up for us as we show up for them. We need spaces where, and this may not be the workplace all the time. This may not be your organization if you are the founder, right? Where people are always able to show up for you, which they should be able to show up for you if you organize things very well. But that's a talk for another day. But there's a reason this channel is created in the first place, right? There's a reason why we are here. And the reason for this is because we are high achievers, we are leaders, we are executives, we make huge decisions. We make decisions that impact lives. We make decisions that change and shape industries. And a lot of times, we have a lot of weight on our shoulders. And when we have a lot of weight on our shoulders, if we are not careful, it's very easy for us to self-abandon. It's very easy for us to neglect our own needs. And to what extent can we really show up for the world, for the things that we care about, if we don't show up for ourselves, if we are not the strong ones in our own life? We neglect everything, let it get handled some way, somehow. We matter as well, okay? You don't need to be saved. You don't need to be rescued. You need places that make you feel safe. You need spaces that make you feel at ease, where you can rest, where you don't have to feel like you need to earn rest, because you don't need to earn rest. A lot of times when we are still, we almost feel like, okay, something must be wrong, because why on earth am I idle? Put something into the comment section if you relate to that. We need spaces where we feel safe. We need spaces where we don't have to hide our weaknesses, our exhaustion, our tiredness. It's not a crime to be tired. It's not a crime to want to just be still. You need a reciprocal space where you are able to allow people to be tired without feeling guilty, and also allow yourself to be tired, to need rest without feeling guilty. Yes, you are the strong one. No one is saying not to be. But make sure you still allow yourself to be still and to heal. Allow yourself space where your emotional load can be released. Give yourself spaces where you don't have to carry everyone, where you have people who are also able to carry you. Allow them show up for you. And for them to show up for you, you need to allow people know your needs. Not, how are you doing? I'm fine. How are you doing? I'm great. I'm good. No concerns here. So what are the key takeaways from this video? Rest is not a reward. Rest is a right. Always being the strong one has its costs to your health and to your overall well-being. You don't have to self-abandon to be dependable, to be reliable. Being the strong one doesn't mean you have to be silent. Doesn't mean you have to numb who you truly are. And that'll be all for today. Remember, the Thrive Clan is a safe space where leaders can be themselves, away from the need to always be perfect. See you in the next video.